Yeah.
No, the real game we're playing is This Tower is Haunted, Maybe. The D&D adventure.
We're basically playing Scooby-Doo.
House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah. So, you've been exploring this Lizard Tower in Leyland. Half convinced there's a ghost somewhere. And after exploring some of the libraries, pondering over some statues, and seeing what they taste like, Murook suggested, I think this guy might be possessed. So you asked the town's priest to perform an exorcism, which led to absolutely nothing. Nothing happened when they performed the ceremony.
It's left Murook feeling very unhappy. But something may have happened and we didn't see it.
I would have seen it. I have the eyes.
He has the invisible eyes. But Galileo said, well, if you don't want to waste any more of my time, you're free to spend the night. That's when they say the disturbances happen in the first place. And that's still a few hours away, but I imagine you'll probably spend that time doing a short rest and preparing.
So before we try to our long rest, we get our short rest. That's basically right.
Not enough time for a long rest. Not that it matters really.
Well, that was some funky music. I miss it.
I can keep it going for this.
Do it.
So basically, Galileo retreats back to his study, and not a moment later, you hear heavy snoring. As if you just can't stay awake anymore. That exorcism took a lot out of him. But you have a few more hours until sunset. What do
I'd like
do?
a short rest right off the bat.
Yeah, y'all take a short rest.
Okay. Well, I guess no island stay tonight for me, so Haunted Mansion
Tower
is almost as good as a haunted island with crazy statues on it.
Well, there are crazy statues up on in the library.
That's true, but they're former flesh golems. They're stone golems of some sort.
Well, I'd call that pretty crazy.
If they were alive.
Well, if we had flesh to stone, if we had stone to flesh, maybe.
Well, what to do? Anyone up for a rousing game of cards?
Don't think do you have any?
No. I have my pan flute, though. I can play cards, the song.
I've got I have bagpipes.
Boop, 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 boop. Cards! Boop, 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 boop. Cards!
I start playing along with him on bagpipes.
Are you getting it? We're right outside Galilio's room.
Yeah, he wakes up, opens the door. Well, I was going to try to catch up on some sleep, but 5 minutes have passed. Great. Well, tell me again what you know of this ghost. Perhaps I could be of assistance about how to confront it.
Just what was in the book we gave you. It's the journal. Seems to be some sort of wizard that can travel, is stuck in time or possessing things. No real idea.
He believes that he is still alive, and that he is dreaming of the tower in its current condition is just his tower, but ruined.
It is possible that he is also the one that's moving all of these items into that room where we found the journal and the rest of the items, stolen items.
I mean, I would have to guess that it's probably Thalivar. former
That
owner.
that or his fairy and assistant.
Don't. I think if it's going to be anything, it's going to be Thalivar. I'm just
laying out the possibilities.
He
Yeah,
gestures down to the skeleton you found in the room, which is still just laying in the lobby here. He says, "You mean him?"
What? Wait,
what?
that's Thalizar?
It's a face statue. Don't you know your anatomy?
Face skeleton. It's not a statue.
Skeleton,
Don't you know your bone marrow?
Oh, so you're saying that is the? He's saying that's the.
He was found in. Sorry.
What was the name? Was Soapwort.
Soapwort. Well, you did find him in the servant's quarters. And he speaks of a soapwort, a fey creature that was a servant.
I'd like to investigate the skeleton for just anything. Confirm this.
I'll help
figure
him
out
on that.
anything. Yeah.
All right, close my window.
Yeah, so what he's trying to tell us is that the body is Thalivar? Skeleton?
Soapwort, the fey.
The servant of Thalivar.
I don't know if you want an investigation check, but I'm rolling one.
Give me a
19.
medicine check.
Oh, well, great. Now I can't use my 19. Oh, it was almost a natural 20 again, but I'll take the 15.
You look at the skeleton and you notice some odd features uncommon to the common races. Elongated limbs and fingers. The head is slightly elongated. And fey creatures can vary depending on who they are, but if Galio says he recognizes it.
Mr. Lemon, I know that last time we were unfamiliar with your own spells and abilities. Would you happen to have any ability that can speak with the dead?
Why would I?
No, that's more necromancy than anything.
I'm just checking. Murook, do you have a way to do that?
No, I don't deal in necromancy.
Mr. Lemon, do you not kill people for your blacksmithing?
No. Why would I do that?
I learned about people nailing shoes to horses' feet. I don't know what happens in this strange land.
Blacksmithing does not require killing in most cases.
I just needed to be sure of that.
You now know this.
I do.
Yes, most creative processes don't require a blood sacrifice, and those that do, we tend to discourage.
I trust you all.
I lied to you very well.
Galio flips through the journal some more. Seems to be whoever wrote this journal, probably Thalivar, is interested in the beacon that's no longer there.
Any idea where it went?
It exploded, if you remember your history.
So to put it short, it went over there, and probably a little bit over there as well.
I don't remember my history, as a matter of fact.
We were basically told that's where most of the building is missing because of.
And I still rolled a 3, so I probably forgot about it after looking at the
Near
window.
the beginning of the... he goes on, near the beginning of the spell plague.
Right.
The interdimensional creatures escaped from their captivity that Thalivar was studying. And soon thereafter, the tower exploded. Assumingly killing the wizard in the process.
What if it didn't?
Apparently, I'm guessing it sent him to another plane.
I mean, what if it blew him into the ethereal plane?
I mean, it probably... Well, if something weird happens, I'll turn on my blink spell and see if I can spot him when I jump into
that seems to be like the. If
Or-
something like that blew up, I wouldn't be surprised that if it didn't kill you, it blew you out of the physical plane. Which is
you're such a. Oh, go ahead.
Which, believe you me, are two separate things.
Yes. But if one doesn't know the difference between the two.
If one was killed by such an explosion, by such a powerful magical device, it is possible, but I don't see how anyone could survive there. More than likely, he was killed.
Well,
which could result in his spirit becoming lost.
Was any remains ever found? We just found this. We should probably bury that skeleton.
Considering he was probably at the epicenter of the blast, I don't think that would have been a body to find.
That's fair enough.
Well, all I know is the workers haven't gotten to the upper level yet. And it's still quite a mess.
Well, when they do, or when they get to the third level and get into that room, they're going to have a hard time remembering that they were in there.
Do you think we should go up there? If I can get in that room, I could get those tools out. I could probably carry.
I told them about it. Well, they seem satisfied that they know where the tools are, so I think they'll break down that wall. They said they had to go into that room next anyway, clear up that hallway.
They said it could take days to clear out the rubble.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe if
they had their tools, they could probably get it done sooner.
They're just tools. They can get more.
True.
I'm not sure there was a tool shop in our
But
village.
do we really want that sandwich sitting there, potentially gaining sentience?
He's probably going to eat it when he gets in there. To be fair,
there's an entire shop downtown that sells things like shovels.
I don't trust that sandwich.
Shop.
Yeah, I just don't trust that sandwich to not, turn into some horrible beast that we're going to have to slay.
A mimic sandwich.
They also have a blacksmith in town as well.
Yeah.
No, if you excuse me, I need to create a homebrew creature, sentient sandwich.
Is it going to be the Subway mascot from 2004? Or was that Blockbuster? No, that was Blockbuster. Those Blockbuster that had the sandwich that talked to people.
Or would it be like those weird animals with the eyes that Quiznos commercials? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Subway sandwiches turn into long enough if you leave them out.
It was Florida orange juice. Florida orange juice commercial. It must have been when I lived in Florida, which is why I am aware of it.
All right, moving right along.
Yeah.
Moving right along. You mentioned, should we go back and check the peculiarity shop now that we can say the word?
Peculiarity. Did I get it?
That's what gives it its true power.
I don't think
power.
I don't think we've been gone long enough for the inventory to change.
Well,
yeah, you're free to go there. It's only been a few hours.
Peculiar. Maybe it did.
Well, I guess we got a little time to kill before night.
And we're gonna be in the. Do the weird phenomena happen in this tower at night or around the town?
The tower.
Okay, just want to make sure we're in the right spot.
Oh, I would just like it to be said that during the short rest, I fetched one of the 50 gold piece diamonds out, and I'm going to be kind of taking it and saving it for when I'm able to level up, because I'm going to be switching out a few spells, and one of them is going to be Chromatic Orb.
Is there a special elephant girl that you need to give a diamond to?
No,
Or boy, no judgment.
No, I just want to cast. I just want to be able to cast Chromatic Orb.
Upon hearing like our ghosts haunting the town, a little spark of recognition kind of comes over his face, and he goes, "When we first started renovating the town, there were scattered reports of weird sightings in the streets. Sometimes it's just people at the end of alleyways that when you get closer, they say they seem to disappear. Given how the town met a magical end hundreds
I
of
don't know
years
if
ago,
anybody else did, but
I wouldn't be surprised if there were some lingering spirits.
that happened to me when I came up here. We were heading towards here. We thought we saw somebody, and they backed up and just disappeared into shadow.
Interesting.
Let me go over to one of these puddles and look into it again. Do I see my reflection as normal?
Completely normal.
What you looking at?
I think the puddles were playing tricks on the eyes of myself and Mr. Lemon.
I look in this puddle. Anything looking weird to me?
Oh, sorry. As normal as a lizardman looks.
I use thaumaturgy and make a very slight tremor as he's looking at it, so it does the Jurassic Park tremors thing.
Don't give the DM ideas. You know he would send an Allosaurus at us if he could.
I make
this tower's haunted by a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I make an odor of a skunk and Zorsashi's face.
I step back.
And then I stomp in the puddle. Does that do anything?
He's not used to that yet. Instead of just getting your feet all wet.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing happens.
Does the water taste bad? I taste it.
Probably
What are you
stale.
doing? You and licking everything.
Well, you never know. You can learn a lot.
It tastes like ghost. No, I'm just kidding.
It tastes like Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, it's ecto cooler.
Okay.
Like
I'm
fresh, not old.
Okay. Curious about whether we're gonna have a storm or clear skies. I use Druidcraft to do that first thing it says, a tiny harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be. It doesn't say anything about how accurate it has to be, but that's what I'm doing.
It seems like clear skies.
Okay.
We have a few hours. Is there anything else we want to do around town before we slept? Or had a slumber party, as it were?
I am honestly curious to see if there is new inventory at the shop. I know it probably isn't, but I'm very curious.
It's been like 4 hours.
That's why I'm so curious. Because if there is, then that will be awesome.
You can head by there for sure.
I want to head by there. If we're not going to wait here, if we're looking for something to do, that is my vote.
Might as well take one last look around, see if there's anything interesting that might. I think you suggested this the other day, or 14 minutes ago. Maybe there's something we overlooked that is good for.
Wish I remember the voice I did for him.
Distinctly different than the parrot.
So you make your way to the peculiarity shop.
Maybe his voice
And,
changed
he's like-
because it was peculiar.
You notice he's wearing a different outfit than before, but
Okay.
just as extravagant. He goes, "Oh, hello, my friends. Was expecting you back so soon. Did something catch your eye that perhaps you wish to take a second look at? And Mr. Zorsashi, I'm afraid I haven't had time to sew your vestments yet, but I
completely
assure
understandable.
you they will be ready
We're
by tomorrow.
We're just taking another look to see if there was anything that we have a thing we need to do tonight and thought maybe there's something in here we overlooked. Now that our plans have changed. You wouldn't happen to have anything with dealing with the
ethereal plane.
Ghosts or ethereal plane?
Ah. You've been in the tower, I see.
Yeah. It's not a ghost, it's a wizard that is stuck. So everybody thinks it's a ghost, though.
And what, may I ask, did you have in mind?
Do you have anything that lets us see into the ethereal plane for
that's what I was like
time?
Like glasses of true sight, or I don't know. I don't know, something like that. If such a thing existed.
Anything that's sort of like maybe a warning sort of siren that when a invisible person comes around. You're the magic man, I'm a magic man, but you're the magic item man. Difference.
Well,
as a DM, I'm thinking, is there anything like that?
There's the crystal ball of true seeing, but it's a wondrous item. A wondrous legendary item.
Yeah, if there is something for true sight, then it would be way too expensive for us to afford.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys found a lot of stuff, a lot of treasure from that cryo vein.
I don't think it's quite enough for a legendary wondrous item.
Perhaps a glyph? Glyph of some kind?
There is a spell, I believe, True Seeing. But it's way above
scrying?
My casting thing.
Well, they're scrying, but I don't think I can do that.
Yes, that's quite an advanced spell.
What about some sort of locate creature? Let's see. I might actually have that, but I don't have time to learn it. So never mind. Yeah, I could locate... No, I can only locate animals, plants, or an object. Never mind.
A Gem of Seeing is a little bit more... It's rare, so it's probably still beyond our...
Nope,
thing.
never mind. I do have locate creature.
That's good.
But I can't do it right now. Oh, I have to have seen the creature one of the creatures up close.
Yeah.
At least once. I don't think I've ever seen a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, Gem of Seeing might be a bit more in our price range, but it's still rare.
Well, Zorsashi, don't you travel through the astral plane to teleport?
For 6 seconds over the course of a minute.
Okay.
My other seeing abilities don't give me true sight, unfortunately.
Okay.
A Gem of Seeing will put you back several thousand gold.
Yeah.
And perhaps if I knew of your plight sooner, I could have procured some sort of warning device.
What about?
I could detect interplanar beings, but alas, I don't have any in stock.
Now here's a question: do you have any spell scrolls around? Any that possibly have see invisibility? Since it's only a 2nd level spell, that might be more in our budget.
I mean, I can already see essentially see invisible things, providing they're within 10 feet of me. So,
well, this also gives us sight into the ethereal plane.
Well, scrolls happen to be one of my specialties.
Oh, logic.
You said it was a second level?
Yeah, second level divination. See invisibility is what I have located.
For 250 gold pieces, I could prepare you a scroll within the hour.
I will have to say, as a player, this is only on the Artificer, Bard, Sorcerer, and Wizard
Aren't you a sorcerer?
classes.
No, you're a warlock.
A warlock, unfortunately.
I am a sorcerer, but I don't have any second level spells yet.
But
Well, you don't need that for scroll. It just needs to be on your list. So you would be able to use it, providing you make a roll. So
I can use it.
And that is, are you? Oh, I thought that scrolls can be used by anyone.
Nope, I think
too,
I think that was a thing in like old editions, but not in the current edition.
No, you have to have at least the possibility of casting the spell at some point in time. And
well,
I happen to be a.
What's the spell's name?
See invisibility.
Guess what it lets you do?
So you're right about the limitations of scrolls there.
Being
Bard,
a DM,
sorcerer.
yes, I know them.
Lasts for 1 hour. For the duration, you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible. And you see into the ethereal plane, ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent.
I think that sounds like what we're looking for. If that's so.
Then, Mr. Zorsashi, if you don't mind me delaying your order, I could will take
This is
me
more
approximately an hour or
important.
so to prepare the spell.
I am more than happy to add an hour onto my items procurement.
It might take a lot out of me physically. But
That's fine. We find this more important.
What a stand-up guy, Zorsashi.
I assume you need it by sunset, because that's when
Ghosts
the
come
days
out.
at its spookiest.
It's twilight. I hear that's when the vampires and lycanthropes come out.
And the glitter.
Oh god, the glitter. Oh god.
You think we should have enough money for that?
150 gold pieces.
I say that we take that straight out of the 363 in the shared inventory because it's going to be beneficial to all of us.
I, Dr. Ables, agree. The hell is
I
that?
thought you were Zorsashi were agreeing. Sure you do. Doesn't matter to you.
You turn around and just Zorsashi has put on like a fake mustache to say that, and then you turn around and he takes it off.
Fake mustache.
That's funny.
Okay, now
you are free to browse the shop, but I must concentrate on the scroll, so I don't.
So you're saying it's a second level scroll of
the invisibility.
I'm taking care of the shared inventory.
Yay!
Well, I'm having to put it in my. I think I have to put it in my inventory for me to be able to use it. Or
yeah, you're right. But I was just taking notes on our shared inventory.
I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how to put it in my
it doesn't really have to be in your inventory. You just know that you know.
I mean, you get the scroll. The scroll, a second level spell scroll, is in your inventory.
Yeah.
Now you said you still have to roll for it, even though you're.
If
it's a high level spell.
It says.
I'll look up the specific rolls for it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm learning a lot about scrolls tonight, and none of it good.
Yeah.
Spells on your with a higher level you can normally cast. You must make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC is 12 for a level 2 spell.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have inspiration? Because we're going to need that when I don't want to waste it. Does it still consume?
It's up to the DM if it disappears if you fail. I think it's supposed to do that, but usually it's like a DM decision.
Something like this, it might just fade away for 24 hours.
Oh no! It only
yes, you must take. If you're casting something above your ability, it is a bit of a chance, a game of chance.
That does make sense.
Roll the dice, if you will.
Okay.
Oh, do you happen to have a charlatan's die then?
Charlatan's die.
It's basically a loaded die. That's an item.
Considering this town used to be full of fishermen and the occasional pirate, I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them ended up in my shop.
Well, we will leave you be. I don't know if there's anything else we'll be able to find. Certainly, I can't spend much more money as I need to save most of it for...
You're free to look around, and if you find one, I'll give you a discount for purchasing such a high price item for your first visit.
Well, thank you.
But I must warn you that the dwarf that runs the construction crew doesn't take to her workers gambling, nor does the fishery.
Oh, no worries. I would not do this to con people out of their money. If anything, I'd probably hold on to it, prevent other people from conning people out of their money.
Such a noble
purpose indeed. And he goes, "Ah, yes." And he chooses the perfect scroll, the piece of parchment to write to a.
Like the Harry Potter wand, where he takes out a piece of paper and it lights up and wind comes out.
Yeah. This one will do nicely. If you excuse me, I'll retire to the back room and prepare your spell. And should take no longer than an hour.
We shall return within the hour.
Right, he bows and goes to his back room.
Now, I wonder just how distracted he is as I look around at all of the items on the shelves.
Yeah, like before, mostly, despite the, what's the word? But it's like everything seems like bright and colorful and in like a magical. But mostly, what he's selling is just probably stuff he found abandoned around town as they were cleaning things up.
Right.
Occasionally, you might see like an interesting trinket or like something magical, and he seems to, on occasion, receive magical items. But
he's basically Sardo from Are You Afraid of the Dark? Which is he was always just selling random junk he had, pretending it was magical, but every time he did, it was an actual magic item.
So if you guys aren't looking around,
I mean, I'm done. I don't have anything else.
Unless I'll just take a quick glance around with a perception check to see if anything catches my eye. Which I do with advantage.
Lemon isn't really in the shopping. Nothing here would be of interest.
24.
So, Zorsashi, your eyes, as you're searching around, they're drawn to that painting. If you remember, that had is a painting of a dark-skinned woman in a chainmail and a red-haired dwarf, and then a third figure which seemed to be kind of faded from view, just like from age and wear and tear of the painting. Mm-hmm. And you seem to recognize the woman as the one you saw by the tower. Like you recognize the silhouette.
I point that out to my companions. Hey, Didn't we see her?
I look at it. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Interesting.
Do you have that, Murook? Are you able to detect magic?
I've only got one more use of it before long rest, and it's only it's.
I don't know. I don't know if you could do rituals or not.
No,
Probably.
I don't have the. I don't have the spell detect magic. It's as I said, I'm going to. Next time I get a chance, I'm going to be doing some rearranging of my.
Is there any like?
I can dispel, but that's it.
Is there any like signature on the painting? The original Picasso.
I could take a look at it. See,
Sure, hold on.
I don't know. It just looks like a painting to me, guys. It's a very nice painting, but it's just a painting. Could be wrong.
This was the lady that we saw that disappeared into the shadows.
Well,
you don't see any names on it, but you do see on the border on a plaque it says the Swords of Leyland.
Swords of Leyland, weren't they
they were the heroes of the town.
Yeah, the heroes
back in time.
Yeah.
Leyland. We should probably take this hour to find a little bit more information about these Swords of Leyland.
That sounds good.
Was there a what's the word? Like a welcoming committee in the town that has
a visitor center?
Brochure visitor center, yes.
Or you could find
is this the noteworthy people that you've met? They don't have a welcoming center quite yet.
Who mentioned these swords? Do we know who mentioned it to us?
A couple people. The wizard did. I think one of the other people besides the priest. No, I think the priest ended up mentioning them.
Yeah, they were like Bun said, they were heroes of the town.
Yeah,
that defended it when all the monsters escaped from the tower, but they ended up being overrun. And then the tower exploded.
But they were all sent into the ethereal plane.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Could be.
Maybe somebody's just playing illusionary tricks on us.
You think somebody's having a laugh?
I don't think maybe not so much a laugh as much as they don't want the tower investigated.
Yeah, that just makes me want to investigate it more.
Jankies.
That's a Tiefling spirit word.
Zoinks.
Well, I say I've got nothing else to do, so I say we wait for this and then head back to the tower and then ask if Galileo if he's not asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Need some information on this.
Maybe see if he thinks the world is round.
Coral is not round.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Canada that's not.
Yeah.
It's on Giant Turtle.
Oh no, that's no. That's a whole nother world.
That's a whole other place.
Yeah.
So yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to do?
Nope. No, sir.
So
I think I'm good. We just wait for the.
Yeah, we'll just chill for an hour.
Browse.
I guess we could.
You kind of browse. Nothing really catches your eye. You do see some shovels with some mining equipment.
I guess we could get the. How much for the mining equipment?
Do we really want to buy this from the people that lost their own? I mean, I'm all for good charity and whatnot, but
oh no, I'm getting it for myself.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, I could take some of theirs, but that'd be rude.
Yeah, so he returns with the scroll. It's tied up in a very fancy pink ribbon. He places into a scroll case and he goes, complimentary scroll case for first time.
Oh, that's nice.
Purchasers.
What does it look like a leather tube, like a map?
Yeah, but it has like the store's logo on it.
Nice.
On the topper.
Good business, man.
That would be 150 gold pieces exactly.
I will pay him. So I don't know. Well, I'm not holding it. Who's holding all the shared inventory? Murook, don't you have the shared inventory in some bag of holding?
Yeah, oh yeah, I think I'm. Actually, no, I don't. I don't have the bag of holding.
Does D'Artagnan have it? Is that why?
Inventory. You all have access to it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We all have to carry it at the same time, though.
You're all holding on to it at all times.
Yeah. Okay, but okay. While we're here, how much for that mining equipment and the shovel? Well, actually, I already have a shovel.
You do?
Actually,
but this one's an antique, used by the original miners of the town, but unfortunately shovels don't really gain much value.
I have a shovel, but how much for the rest of the mining equipment?
Altogether, let's say like a shovel, a mining pick, and I guess that'll be about
hammer.
it. Hammer. Yeah, you would say like for those common items, 6 gold pieces.
Yeah, it sounds good. Mind if I take some of that out of the inventory, the shared? Because I am.
Wow.
Hey, go for it.
Wow. Hey, is that Dart or Zorsashi talking?
Good question.
Apparently, I've actually been selling a number of these lately because apparently some of the workers' equipment have been going missing. They've been working, and
you're not the one taking them, are you?
Oh no! These are centuries old, as you can tell, but they're still in good condition.
Dwarves knew how to make them.
Indeed.
Is it a hammer, a sledgehammer, or a light hammer?
It's a hammer.
Yeah, it's not a weapon kind.
Yeah.
Oh no! These are all adventuring. There's a.
Well, what do you want? Do you want a hammer or a sledgehammer?
He doesn't know.
Let's go with the sledgehammer.
Decisions. You buy gold, I don't care. Actually, gold.
To Murook, a sledgehammer is a hammer.
Yeah.
Yes.
All sledgehammers are hammers, but not all hammers are sledgehammers.
Exactly. Let's go with the sledgehammer. I will. Plus, it's also pretty. They tend to also be handy for opening chests that you just don't have the key for, or you don't know knock, or
adds to crowbars.
Sledgehammer works. Sledgehammers does. Yeah, I'd rather. Let me get the sledgehammer.
I mean, crowbars aren't mining equipment.
Audrey kind of glances out the window and he goes, "Well, look at the time. It looks like the sun is setting. Time just flies by here, doesn't it? As if it has no meaning."
I mean, time doesn't have any meaning. Time is a construct of, thinking beings.
I take out a little pocket watch, and I'm like, I mean, it still has meaning. This is still working, but yeah, it is getting late.
But yeah. I mean, for our purposes, yes, it is getting a tad late, and we do need to get back to the tower. All right.
Tower? Rapunzel.
So.
And as you leave, you pay for your goods. It does seem like the sun is setting. Like, you have spent hours in there, even though it's only been at most like an hour and a half.
Ooh,
that's weird.
Need to get a move on.
I think we should not spend our waiting moments in this shop much more. Yes, but let's head back to the tower, the house of Thalivar. If I pass by any of the workers that are still straggling around, I'll just be like, "Hail, whatever the god was, I've already forgotten."
Yeah, you see a group kind of at the base of the tower, like they just as you pass by, you overhear them. It's like, well, we're on the night shift, but there's no way I'm going in there after what happened to the others.
Oh, we exercised them. It's everything's good now.
Still not going in there until I know there's absolutely 0% ghost in that tower.
Are you still getting paid? Are you still getting paid for the night?
He goes, I'm willing to dock a couple days paid. No, I'm not going to get possessed.
Well, do us a favor. If you see anything on the outside here, give a scream and we'll come running.
You want me to be a lookout?
Nope, but if you're going to be here anyway, you might as well look out at things. I just keep walking.
I can give you a...
Signal if
I see,
I
see something. I can give you a signal if I see something.
I just put my hand up as I'm walking away. Sure, whatever.
You hear the guy next to him goes, don't worry, one day you'll be a lookout. He goes, you know. He just goes, I want to use my bird calling skills to be put to use one day.
He's my next character. I'm going to be him next time.
Yeah, the lookout guy makes bird sounds.
He's going to have staff bird calls.
Don't we have a staff of bird calls?
You might. I forget if you found one or not.
I think I saw something like that. Staff of Bird Song. It was in the shared inventory.
He could have been making all sorts of bird noises.
No, it's not in the shared inventory, but it is. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we gave it to.
Sounds like something you give to Sally.
You definitely
staff
have
of
it.
Bird calls.
You definitely have it because it's unlocked for people.
No, I see it's staff of bird calls. It's in the.
Well, let's decide your next character is going to be a Kenku.
Built-in staff of bird calls.
All right, so what do you guys do as nighttime is approaching?
Is Galio
Twilight
sleeping?
Tower.
Is Galio sleeping?
Heavy snores. You hear heavy snores coming from his study.
Well, what room should we do the lookout on? What floor?
Should we spread out to keep a better eye out, or
if I had to, one of us needs to stay with Galio, and maybe I think it should be one person with Galio, one person in the library, and then two of us up top.
That might be. Well, maybe. I think we should definitely be around the. Oh, wait a second. I just had an idea. Murook, why don't we use one of your newfound items as bait?
Oh. Alright. I put the miner's pick on the table that I just bought.
There we go.
And I'm gonna go to the. Do you want me to stay down here with Galileo, and then y'all go check out the? Y'all divide up the rest of the tower.
That might be okay. I'll probably suggest I'll probably take the third floor because that's where the journal was found.
I'll do the library.
I guess Zyzzyx, why don't you go with Zorsashi?
Okay.
And I'll just stay down here at the bottom.
He likes to bamf around me.
It'll be fun. We'll practice our pan flute.
Oh, before, wait. Actually, we're not that far away. I was gonna say maybe I should give one of y'all the stone ascending, but I think we're close enough.
Might as well, just in case.
Oh, we never know where we might end up.
Yeah.
I
you guys
take
never
it from
officially attuned to it.
Oh no!
So,
It only takes an hour.
I
try
guess
to
you can decide.
I'll keep one, and then Zyzzyx, here's the other one. You.
Thank you. Let me put it in my inventory real quick. Still, do I have to? You know what? I'm not going to bother with it. I have it.
Zyzzyx, you notice the name Thistle has been written in ink on the stone that you got.
How sweet.
Wait,
you took it back? Oh, I guess you did. Because okay.
Yeah, I mean there was.
So I rolled.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So I rolled a 19 stealth to try and sneak up on you, Zorsashi.
Let me roll a perception. I have advantage on perception. Not much better.
Perfect. All right, so I just kind of sidle up beside you and I whisper, "Bamf!"
Ah! And I take out my sword and stab him.
Oh no! I block.
Oh, good block! I almost stabbed you.
You guys are god RPing.
We are playing a role. We are playing a game of role playing.
Okay, so Murook is staying downstairs. Where are you hiding? Are you just gonna?
I'm not hiding anywhere. I'm just.
Well, I mean, where are you? Where are you camping out?
I'm gonna camp out. I'm gonna camp out here, right next to the library. So if anybody leaves,
well, it's not a library. It's his
study.
It's his office. Yeah, study.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put a bedroll down here. It looks
11. Where are you staying?
I just moved it. I'm going to be staying in the room with the sleeping statue.
Okay.
Obviously, the safest
So
place
I'm going to leave all of the doors open in the other one, so that way, if there's any, so I have a better chance of hearing something if something happens.
All right. Anyone on the? All right. So some.
I'll move a little closer to the little scaffolding tower so I can kind of see a little bit up the ladder to the fourth floor. Nothing else.
Okay. Some time passes. The sun sets. And the rooms grow darker. Especially the ones that are exposed to the air outside. And the sun sets and the moon rises. And an hour passes. Another hour passes. And Murook, you see the handle on Galio's door begin to open.
I move to the hall as quietly as I can, which I can do very quietly because I still have those Elsa belts of moving. The boots of elven kind.
That's perfect for a giant elephant.
And the door opens, and Galio kind of shuffles out in a nightgown. And he kind of yawns, kind of looks around, scratches his rear, and then just begins to walk up to the exit.
Can I you know what? I'm gonna eyeball this. Something ain't right.
Makes his way to the doorway where the stairs are.
Can I roll perception?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Something seems off about him.
21. He could be sleepwalking. But his eyes seemed alert.
I follow. I guess I follow him up as quietly as I can.
And as he steps outside, you start to follow him. So you're outside the tower, just a few seconds after he left, and you look immediately in front of you, but you don't see him anywhere.
I hate to burn it this early, but I think it's time. I use the scroll. This is what it was for. Let's see.
So
I need to roll a. Let me see here.
DC 12, using your spellcasting ability, to decide whether you cast it successfully.
So that'd be a spell attack or what?
What is your spellcasting ability?
Charisma.
So it's a charisma roll.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
The scroll disintegrates in my hands. Nothing happens. Well,
yeah, for that low roll, you unravel the scroll.
Accidentally tears it in half.
Yeah, and you give it a tear as you try to unwrap the ribbon somehow, but when you try to fix it, it just makes more and more until the scroll just kind of it turns to dust in your hand.
Well, money well spent.
Yeah. As far as anybody else knows, I didn't see anything with it. As far as anybody else knows,
that's true. It's no metagames.
You think Murook's going to manage to use that spell scroll successfully? I think he's going to be able to do it.
Yeah, of course. It's just a level 2 spell. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's nice. It's going to be great.
There's no way that his unwieldy elephant hands are going to just tear it apart.
Right,
He's
right.
the most charismatic elephant man I know.
Hey, 13 charisma ain't bad.
He just couldn't see how to use it.
Murook, give me a perception check.
Also, you may want to stand up.
Yeah, you've been rolling out the door. You hear some rubble kind of hit the ground behind you.
Oh, I do have one Hail Mary. I use my last detect magic awareness. It's not much, but it'll let me know if there's presence. It'll let me know if there's at least something of any concentrated magic.
You do sense something.
I turn around.
Right behind you, and right above you.
Dang! Look, I look up.
And you see Galio climbing up the tower with his bare hands.
That's not right. I used the sending stone and contact Zyzzyx.
Did we attune to them yet? Does it work?
Well, it's been probably.
Okay.
You've got a rogue wizard hitting up the side of the tower. I don't know why he's climbing the tower and not using the stairs.
Excuse me?
It's sending one way.
New stone, who dis?
Oh, is that Murook? Ask him how he's doing. Tell him I'm here. Tell him hi.
Hey, Zorsashi wants to know how you're doing.
The stone is one way, so I can't tell him.
Oh, is it really?
Sending.
Oh.
It's sending, I think.
I thought they were like a phone. Okay.
I think
you need to buy the receiving stone.
Yeah, it's 25 words or less. So you've got a rogue wizard climbing up the tower. Don't know why he's not using the stairs. Okay, we're good.
So I can't ask him questions.
How do I turn this thing up?
So apparently, there's a wizard climbing up the outside of the tower.
What? Which direction?
That's a great question. I can't ask him. This is only one way.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm just gonna make my way up the stairs to.
So Murook, you're on the east side. You see him climb the east side, but then as he nears the second floor, he kind of makes his way to the south side.
Okay, as he's doing that, I'm going to make my way up to the second floor.
I'm gonna while he's doing that, I'm gonna make my way to the fourth floor up the scaffolding ladder.
I call out, "Hey, Lemon! He's climbing up the south side on the outside."
What? No, it's just Lemon gets up and starts following. So, and it's just an exclamation of "I was not expecting that."
I look out the window. I look out the window in this room here to see if I see him.
You see him like right about here, climbing up.
I'm gonna run to this window and just kind of like see if I can look down over it. Actually, it's busted, so I can probably peek my head out.
You know, I have to give him credit. He is clocking it.
Yeah, this is a pretty good pace. It's like he's just using his hands.
I'm up here with Zorsashi too. Does it look?
There aren't any handholds or anything. He's just climbing up the wall.
I mean,
isn't it that thing where he looks back at you with his head turning all the way around?
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you describe this as inhuman?
It's definitely weird.
Okay.
As someone who is pretty well in tune with his physique and is pretty good, maybe would be able to clock if somebody else was. This makes no sense because he is a scrawny wizard and he is free climbing the side of a tower. No, this don't add up.
Good to know.
This.
Zorsashi, you look down. Zyzzyx, you look down. And you see him reach the window on the second floor.
I hex him.
Okay.
All right. Shoot. I'm trying to think. How can I get up? Oh.
He seems not to notice.
And
he climbed. And you see him climb into the window.
Okay.
I'm going to.
That window down there. Okay.
I'm going to turn on my invisibility see-through wall. No, I'm sorry, see-through walls, see-through solid objects for a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to say, Zyzzyx, he's going into the forbidden room.
Okay, I'm gonna.
There's nothing even in there. It's worth it.
Lemon, I suggest we head up to the third floor, see if we can find some way to get through the wall or something. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Zorsashi,
downstairs.
You can see through walls right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Zorsashi, so you look below you, and you can see him walk into the bedroom.
As soon as he walks into that bedroom, I'm going to bamf next to him.
Okay. And I have a thing I want to do.
Just as he places the journal back on the nightstand, that should be over here. You appear in the
behind him.
Room. Give me a stealth check.
Oh, never mind.
Yay! 21.
21. He doesn't notice you. He puts down the journal and puts down, I forget what you took out, but he has a little jar of purple ink and a quill.
Mm-hmm.
And he dips the quill in the ink and begins writing in a blank page of the journal.
I'm gonna just sneakily look over, see what he's writing.
Give me another stealth check.
Oh, another 19, so 21.
Wow.
He seems to be discouraged about progress not being made. Just give me another stealth check.
Yeah, I'm gonna step back if I succeed with this one. Probably not. 8.
And you get a little closer. Well, before that happens, is anybody else doing something?
No, I wanted to use Meld Stone to walk through the wall, but it explicitly says I cannot do that.
Okay.
So
I
don't know.
With 19 strength and a sledgehammer, do you think I could Kool-Aid Man my way through this wall?
Maybe not in one hit, but with the sledgehammer in high strength, you definitely try.
I wait to see if I hear anything alarming.
So you kind of lean in, Zorsashi, as he's running down, and his writing stops. And he,
No, keep going. This is getting good.
He turns around. His face is expressionless. His eyes are like dilated, despite the dark. Or I guess if they're dilated, it's because it's dark. But he it's when you have like the really small irises or whatever, despite the darkness.
The power of the thunder compels you, and I'm gonna take out my holy water and splash it on him.
Okay. Holy water.
I'll display the item in VTT. So, as an action, I can splash the contents or throw it. In either case, make a ranged attack against the target creature, treating the holy water as an improvised weapon. So I can do that.
I say you surprise him. You just splash it right in his face.
Okay.
And Galio immediately... Well, let's just roll for damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be... If he's a fiend or undead, it takes 2d6 radiant damage, so I will roll that. Ooh, maybe I killed him. 9.
9
radiant damage.
So Galio just begins screaming bloody murder
as I hear this scream. Okay, I can hear you. Sorry, I panicked.
He starts screaming bloody murder. He claps his face with his hands. He kind of doubles over.
I grab the book.
As I hear this scream, I just I just wail into the wall like it owed me money with the sledgehammer.
Okay, give me a strength check, Murook.
19.
We haven't done this often, but since you are one of the Loxodon features is that you have the strength of a large creature. And I say with a 19, you're able to make a hole in the wall that with an action you could bust your way through.
Here's Murook.
I found him, guys.
I charge at the wall.
Yeah.
And as I come out, I say, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah. So what happens? This Galio stops screaming. He stands straight up. His hands go outstretched as he begins to shake violently. You do anything, Zorsashi?
I said I grabbed the journal.
Okay. So he begins shaking. His eyes glow a reddish color. And he collapses to the ground. But in his place, you see a ghostly figure appear where he was standing. With red eyes.
This isn't my specter. I would know that, right?
No.
Not your specter?
Remember the Hexblade Spectre?
Oh, I mean, you can do a Arcana.
Like, because I just splashed all the water in this, and it looks like he's died, and I'd be like, is that mine or not? So I can do a check if you want.
Well, he collapsed. Galio collapsed, and where he was standing, is this ghostly figure with red eyes and wild hair. And I want you. Let's roll initiative.
Well, I do. This is one of those times I hate being right. Also, guess who's going dead last?
Later on, we're gonna go back to the church. Told you.
You got a .08.
I thought you got 20.
Wow. Murook, do you see any invisible things around here?
Yeah, about that scroll.
We are slow to react.
Like it worked really well?
Worked so well we could all see him.
No, it made very fine dust. That's about all it did.
You weren't supposed to crumble it up. Do you not know how spells work? How scrolls
He tied it up. He tied it up it was tied up really tight, and when I got it out, it sort of disintegrated.
That's not a thing.
You're not supposed to eat them? No, I don't think.
So as this ghost appears, just immediately goes, "You fools! You'll ruin everything!"
That's fine.
Why do they always talk in cryptic, like, expository, mysterious information?
Years of work interrupted! And, actually the first thing he's gonna do, because him turning into a ghost is a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
He lets out another horrifying scream. And I want Zorsashi and Murook to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's my specialty. That's not my specialty. 8.
15. Wait, is this charmed or frightened?
It is.
Oh, I get advantage on that. So 15.
Oh. I'm getting marked back for something he did in Icewind Dale. So, Murook, you feel a frightenedness wash over you, but you're able to turn this down a little bit. You're able to resist it. But Zorsashi, an 8 is a fail.
Do I gain like 40 years of my life?
Well, let's see. So you're frightened.
Okay.
And since you failed by 5 or more,
Oof.
oh no.
Oh.
You feel your skin tighten, and your muscles ache, and you just feel yourself get weaker, and you feel much, in a matter of seconds, it seems like literal life has been drained out of you.
Not again.
And you feel weaker, at least, maybe if not physically, like mentally, you feel older by 40 years.
Yay.
Payback for our other sessions.
Yep.
You're and immediately you just grow this beard. And your hair grows just to the length of your low back, and your face is just wrinkled.
Well, you look distinguished.
I'm pudding.
Where's my pudding?
Where's my
I
pudding?
gotta watch my stories. All right, now combat begins. Zorsashi, what do you do?
Probably fall over trying to hold up my sword, even though it's a magical sword. Well, first thing, bonus action, I'm going to move my hex from Galileo, as if he's dead, to the ghost.
You don't know if he's dead. He has collapsed.
Well, I try to move my hex. Do I tell if it works?
You can just do that, right? It doesn't have
if
to.
If he's got to be dead for me to move the hex.
Okay. The hex does not move.
Okay, well, that's kind of good. I'm afraid of this thing. But I'm too old to react. So I'm just gonna what am I gonna I'm just gonna katana it. Take out my hex weapon.
It's a disadvantage, right?
I'm gonna green flame blade it at disadvantage. Yes, you are correct.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I'm gonna do it.
Doesn't that bounce to the? Wouldn't that bounce and hit Galileo there?
Oh fuck, you're right. Yeah, I'll just do a normal katana attack then. 18. I still got it.
18 will hit.
Uh, 8 damage. Magical slashing.
It's magical, yeah.
And as a bonus action, I will poop myself. Not because I'm scared, but because I'm old and incontinent. I will move over here.
Oh, ageist much?
No, I'm just old and incontinent.
Oh.
And I'm not incontinent because I'm old. I don't know why you thought that. Anyway, that's my turn.
Zyzzyx.
All right. Zyzzyx is going to come in through this wall, and there's not a whole lot of room here. But I still got to be something that's going to be useful. We are going to become a cave bear.
I don't know if there's enough room for that here.
I'm going to hop on the bed.
Gonna be the bear on the bed.
Here it comes. Where are you, cave bear? I say.
This is suddenly a very small bedroom.
And
The bed collapses under the weight as you transform.
Oh no, the sandwich!
Whoops.
The tools and the sandwiches that were under the bed are suddenly very much destroyed, probably.
So I'm going to come around. Oh, yeah.
Make sure you put your health at full. Yep.
Okay. I will do that. That's 8. Apply. And now I have to see how I'm going to position myself. I kind of want to be here and kind of push Zorsashi out of the way.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Joey? Quick question for you.
Sure.
Would you consider initiative to be an ability check?
It is. It is.
Then, is there any chance at all I could use Tides of Chaos on it?
Is that the thing where... Oh, what's that again?
I get to re-roll. I gain advantage on a attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Once per long rest.
It is a dexterity check.
We've already started.
Do I get pushed out of the way, by the way?
No. I'm at 0.8 at bit. If I come back around, I'll just get it'll be like I will take the loss of a turn.
Just save it, honestly.
Okay. I'll save it.
Initiative isn't that important.
Yeah.
Zorsashi is in the way.
I can't move where I am. I can't kind of nudge him away. All right. Murook, I'm sorry.
He's
you
old.
Gotta figure out a way to get around me.
I can do that.
Okay. All right. So keep in mind, Joseph, that my attacks in beast form are magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks, just in case that matters in this fight. All right. And then we're going to start with biting. I'm going to chomp at him for a 22. I'm going to take 6 points of damage out of his ectoplasmic skin. And then that was so nice that I want to try to rend some more out of him with some claws with a 17.
Nice. Those both hit.
And that is 11 slashing in addition to the 6 piercing. And I say, yum!
He just goes, "You stupid beast!
Ruining
my work, my experiments!"
And that's my turn.
I don't even think Lemon can get in here.
You can squeeze by people.
Yeah, you can squeeze past a friendly player. Fun.
I'd have to squeeze through a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good question. I'm actually just going to stay by the door and use what is it called again? Sorry, just a second. There are so many abilities in this thing. I can't find. I'm basically going to be using channel divinity to
Ooh, that's a.
It's a turn undead. Basically, each fiend or undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failure, it is turned for 1 minute, and I have to look up what the heck turned means. Or until it takes. Yep.
I got it. Turn creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away as possible.
How exactly does that translate to term? It turned.
Meaning
it turn away from you and run.
Oh, turn face or something. Okay.
Yeah, but they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
If 24 was the roll, then yeah, you've got it. So
he rolled a 2.
Oh, in that case, he is scared of me.
Now he must spend his turn. He has to spend his turn doing the dash action to get away. If I'm reading that right.
Pretty much,
yes.
Or until somebody hurts him.
So he yells again. I'll show you firsthand the power from beyond the stars, and no one can claim the ruined stone for themselves. And he
ruined stone. I wanted to know about that.
And he zips up through the ceiling above you. And in his place, kind of a portal appears. And it grows bigger and bigger. And out steps 2 creatures that I almost guarantee you have never quite seen before.
Goblin and kobold.
Hold on. Hold on.
They're roughly humanoid shape. Well, I'm just in the right order. They're about humanoid shaped, blue skin, bulging red eyes, and you notice that in just a mouth full of fangs, drooling fangs and tongues. And you notice that its arm, instead of going into at the elbow, going into the rest of the arm, it splits into 2. So each arm has 2 hands, and each hand is holding this wicked looking dagger.
So we're fighting General Grievuses.
I was just gonna say.
And these 2 creatures emerge from the portal, look around, and go, that time of night again, is it?
No.
And we have guests? Let's show them a good time.
Are you pudding?
Can I eat you? And Murook's your turn.
All right. Let me see here. Well, I'm gonna move here. Let's see here. And how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? Can't really move, can I? I'm just gonna rage. And we all know, and since I raged, well, you know what that means. All right.
Calamity, turn.
All right, we got a 4. That's all right. We got 4, which means 4. Oh, this is my axe glows a little bit brighter, and I can throw it.
Cool.
And it's force damage now.
Okay.
Ooh.
Not force damage.
You shall see the power of the force.
And you know what? Screw these guys. I'm going to reckless attack the guy in front of me.
Sure.
So I believe that means the first. Let's do that first one with advantage. I believe that hit. The one right in front of me for 14 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And if it ain't dead, I'm going to hit it again. $23 for 12 damage.
12 damage.
So I just hit this thing for what? 26 damage. Not bad.
Yeah, you knock him around a bit.
He is probably not
Whatever
feeling.
These things are.
Whatever these things are.
Cool.
Do I say? Can I recognize them from my travails in Sigil?
Give me a history.
$12.
These things don't look like they're from around here.
I've already used my action. I've already used my free action, so I think that's my turn.
One of these creatures turned to you, Zorsashi, and goes, "Don't we look old, do we?"
No! I don't know how old you're supposed to look.
He looks distinguished. There's a difference.
Yeah, like how old was he before?
I was if I wrote that down. I did not give him an age.
Well, I think you need a little more scars. He raises all of his daggers. He goes, Hold on, let's see.
So kind of curious, does aging actually affect his stats?
No, unless the DM decides that, I'm now 106.
So he unleashes 6 attacks with advantage against you.
Why advantage?
Zorsashi. On the first round of combat, he has advantage on attack rolls against a creature that hasn't taken a turn yet. Or does that mean...
I've already taken a turn.
Oh, that's ambush. Okay.
Yeah, they came in on the second round, so.
Well, you're right. I misread that. I thought during the turn. But he nonetheless takes 6 attacks against you.
Ouch.
18.
Hits. But I will 12. On that for miss.
15.
Just hits.
12.
Miss.
And 19.
Hits.
Alright, so first attack, you're doing something?
Yeah, after the first one, I'm going to go ahead and just Hellish Rebuke as a reaction. I'm going to point my finger at him, and basically it's just 2d10 of fire damage if he fails a dex save. So, DC 14 dex save.
22.
He passes. And he takes half of that, so he takes 10 fire damage.
I would say these look like very roguish characters, so their dex is probably off the charts.
So the first attack is Zorsashi. When one blade hits you, you take 5 slashing damage.
Okay.
And when the dagger hits you, you feel like your soul itself is being attacked. And you take 7 psychic damage.
Okay.
The next attack that hits, 11 slashing damage, or 7, or I'm sorry, 7 psychic damage. I don't know if I said that. The next one, 11 slashing damage and 10 psychic damage.
Okay. Third one?
And the last one that hits, you take 8 slashing damage and 10 psychic damage.
I am still alive, amazingly.
Ow.
So he's just 1,000 cuts you.
Yeah.
He goes, now you look old.
Ow!
Why did he summon a cactar?
That's 1,000 needles, different.
This one looks at Murook. He goes, you've seen different realms before too, haven't you? It's a pity you haven't seen ours.
Hit. I think. Oh no, that was a different roll. Excuse me. Shit.
Right, so he does the same thing. Raises all of his arms and begins slashing at you wildly. And this time he does do it with advantage. Because you're recklessly attacked.
Yeah, so remember, all the slashing damage gets halved, but all the psychic damage is full.
Right, so 16.
Hit.
3 slashing, 4 psychic.
7 damage.
21.
Alright. Hit.
Do 4 slashing, 2 psychic. 15.
Hit.
3 slashing, 11 psychic.
11 seconds, so that'd be what? 14?
Yeah.
Alright.
And this one's a nasty one.
Oh no.
Takes 6 slashing. 16 psychic. Hits you right in like your tendon or something.
22 damage.
And then the final one, you take 6 slashing and 2 psychic.
6 slashing and and this is the slashing is all halved.
Yep.
So 6 slashing and 2 psychic.
Yes. And he flips his knives around.
I am down on one knee, looking very bloodied. Like, ooh. I have a lot of HP. But it's... Oh, lordy, that hurt.
Zorsashi.
I'm not one to back away. I am going to, as a bonus action, Hexblade Curse on the one that's been hit by my fire. Second thing going on. So this basically means that I get +3 bonus to damage rolls, and I score a critical on a 19 or 20, and I regain 10 HP if it dies. So if you could mark the one that I've cursed.
The one in front of Murook?
Yeah, if that's the one I've been hitting. I'm going to Green Flame Blade that one. Ah! It's a 12 hit?
It's a miss.
Ah!
You try to take a swing, but the sword's a lot heavier than what you remember.
Mm-hmm. I'll get you for this! Get off my lawn! And I will move back.
Zyzzyx.
Alright. Thank you. Thank you for what you did with the last thing there, the moving. I'm gonna keep getting the one that has... Will you get the kill, or will you get that 10 even if someone else kills him?
The 10 if it dies, so kill him all you want. I don't care, because I'm in a bad shape.
I would like to bite this thing.
He doesn't look bloody quite yet.
Alright. 25 for 12 piercing. And I'm going to then reach around with my claws and give him a crit fail slash. I'm going to assume an 8 doesn't... Actually, I know a crit fail never hits. That is one of the rules.
You Faroon creatures have always impressed me with your ferocity.
He's making fun of me. I roar.
11.
I'm not into... I was planning on maybe going after the ghost, but I don't think I want to... They've nearly taken out half the party at this point. But I'm not into... Well, I'll go in here and I'm sure I've got something ranged. Actually, no, I will do... See. No, it's attack rolls. Actually, I'm just going to... who is the absolute... who is very bloodied?
I'm down to single digits.
Oh.
Ouch.
But I do have a potion of greater healing, so
that would use up your action, though. Let's see. Yeah, I'll end up I'll use a cure wounds on at Murook and just card over here and 15 health back.
Wow.
Oh, all right, that's a good roll.
Oh yeah, I'm back up on 2 feet again. Oof. That was a little too close for comfort.
And that should be it.
All right, Murook, your turn.
I hope we didn't make a mistake leaving that guy alone. Let's see here. I don't think I can survive another reckless. I don't think I can chance another reckless attack.
Yeah,
so.
don't reckless it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit him. 23.
23 hits. It's looking hurt.
And let's do that again. 27.
Yeah, like one of his segmented arms, like seems to be broken. He's like panting, drool just pouring from his mouth.
Got a bonus action that does damage. Do it.
I do not, believe it or not, I do not have a bonus action that does. I'm one of the few barbarians that don't have that.
Is it adding rage damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not adding it to the roll.
Oh, that's weird.
So how much? What's your rage damage currently? 2.
Yeah.
So add another 4 damage.
Well, actually, add another 8 damage because from the last roll as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Do you have a little? You can.
Oh, yeah.
You can. Is there a little? You can do the. You can add a modifier, or no? You're probably rolling. Are you rolling from D&D Beyond or roll 20?
Yeah, I'm from D&D Beyond. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
I got
the Beyond 20. Yeah, there's an.
I got it. I forgot to turn it on.
Yeah,
you got. It's on from here on out. But it's probably looking. You said it's looking pretty dang rough.
Truly rough.
Wait, I haven't moved yet. Wait. Can I move?
Yeah.
I'm gonna move.
You would get an attack of opportunity,
depending on where it moves.
Well, there's nowhere I can move. Never mind then. Oh yeah, but then he'll get an attack of opportunity on me.
No, you'll still be in range.
All right, I'm gonna just move over here then.
Hold on.
Oh no.
He goes to Zorsashi. Yeah, this one's almost dead anyway. He flips his dagger around, catches it. Yeah, I think I still have some fight in me. And he turns to you, Zyzzyx. And in the same, lightning fast speed, he just begins stabbing you with his knife.
I got a lot of thick blubber. Is he breaking through? Let's find out.
Let's see here. 14.
Yeah, I don't have that much thick blubber. I lied.
Take 8 slashing and 7 psychic.
Oh.
You guys are
23.
destroying us.
Wait, 7 plus 8 is 15.
Yep. Next one, you take 11 slashing.
Oh. 15 plus 16 is where you can cut. Ouch. Well, that hurt.
Okay. Hold on. I would like to apologize. Misread this a little bit. Psychic damage is on advantage.
Oh, okay.
So, Murook, you still took all that damage. Zorsashi, I'm going to say add 12.
There was a 10. How much?
I was approximating. Put 15 health back on yours.
Okay. Thank you. Oh,
sorry about that.
Oh, I think you killed the kidney stone. Yeah.
You retconned me back to life. So I'm sorry about that. Let's do this over, Zyzzyx. So add 7 damage.
Okay.
For healing. And then did you already apply the 6 for the next one?
Yeah, it was just so I'll get 13 back.
Yeah, okay. So sorry about that.
Oh.
I'm just looking at the stats it's given me, and I forgot to read the little notes.
That's okay. I don't mind.
The only
new
person
creatures will do that.
So the only person who took a crap ton of damage was me.
I mean, I still took a fair amount of damage.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, I'm a barbarian, and I was down to single digits.
I was down to single number.
1.
26 hits. You take 8 slashing damage.
Who was that?
21. 8 slashing.
For who?
No,
Me?
21. Yes.
Okay. All right. And 21 does hit as well.
Then a 21. Take 9 slashing.
Rawr.
And then a 22 takes 6 slashing.
Oh!
The dice really like Joey today.
I am at a single health as well, Zorsashi.
He's been saving it up since we didn't have combat for two sessions.
Yeah.
You're single, but it's a bear.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
So he hits you with every one of these attacks.
Yeah.
And with the last one, he moves this way, lightning fast.
I will. Can I take an attack of opportunity on the on that one?
Too fast. Can't hit him.
Oh, fair enough. I'll get you. Where are you going?
You're back here.
Back here, young whippersnapper.
The near dead one tries to gather up some more energy to attack, but he's just too hurt. But he goes, I could still finish you off, old man.
Yeah, come and take it. Nah.
26.
Hit.
Give
me the damage. Well, give me the damage one at a time, just in case it drops me.
Only one hits you. You take 10 slashing damage.
Okay.
And he kind of disappears into the darkness in this corner.
Oh, I can see him.
But so you can see him hiding kind of in plain sight. But
I have blind sight, which basically means
I understand.
that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. You can see him hiding in plain sight. But Zyzzyx and Lemon, you kind of see him fade into the darkness of this corner.
Oh, where'd he go?
Murook, can't you see it? Oh, yeah, that's right. You destroyed the scroll.
Oh, y'all never gonna let me live that down, are you?
Why are you talking in bear?
It was important to say.
Zorsashi.
He moved away, so I'm not going to use my green flame blade. Actually, let me check that, because I might be able to say you can push it over to another thing. And you can cause green fire to leap. So I am going to go ahead and do green flame blade. Actually, no, hold on.
That was 5 feet.
No, yeah, so I'm going to do green flame blade.
Okay. So he thinks...
I think I just rolled the damage. It didn't actually roll the attack, so let me roll the attack.
Yeah, I had to roll attack first.
Did I? Oh, it's a +7, so I rolled that. So 20 hit?
Yeah, so he thinks he's being clever, hiding in this dark corner. And as soon as he gets to that corner, you plunge your katana.
So he takes
his chest.
So he takes 14 plus an additional 3, plus an additional 2 fire. So
in his eyes, 19. Grow wide, and he falls limp on your sword.
Ew! Shake him off.
It was this is the one that had your thing on it.
Yes. So and that one I can't move, unfortunately.
Do you get any hit points back from it?
I do get 10 hit points back from it. Thank you for reminding me. Is it humanoid, Joey? Is it? No. Does it say that as a creature?
No, it's not humanoid.
Damn! Gonna get this accursed specter at some point. I'll say, keep going. I'll get this off my sword and attack that other one in due course, my good man. Bear, pig. That's my turn.
Zyzzyx.
All right. I'm going to go... Let's see. First, I am going to use a bonus action to... How does it work? Hold on. Features. I can use a bonus action to expend a spell slot to regain 1d8 per level of the spell slot. So, I'm going to use a second level slot, and I will roll. This is to heal my d8s, 2 of them. Oh, good. 6 health. Wow. Okay. And then I'm going to do my standard bite slash. But actually, we're going to go slash bite this time. Dang. Another fail critically on the slash. And a critical fail on the bite. That is 3 crit fails in a row.
Those interdimensional daggers wounded you more than you knew.
Yeah. Wow. That's nuts.
Oh, Lemon.
I am going to let's see. Can I use both of the Actually, yeah, I can. Does this one in front of me look hurt at all?
Certainly not from my
attack. If he is, it's very slightly hurt.
Okay, I am going to... I'm going to use a... oh, wait, no, I already used it, darn. Okay, so no glowy weapon this time, but I am going to use up a spell slot and make my attack a Divine Smite. So...
Okay.
20 hit?
Good hit. Yep, 20 hits.
Alright. Bludgeoning damage of 8 damage plus where'd it go? And as well as 10 radiant damage.
10 radiant. Right.
Nice.
He's still looking pretty good.
Okay. And I get the hit again.
And not just in terms of health, I mean, like, he actually looks kind of handsome compared to the other one.
Not a high bar to jump, though.
25 will hit.
I'm going to use... it doesn't say anything about limitation per round, so I'm going to use another Divine Smite.
Does that sound right, Mark?
Yeah, it's you just expend a spell slot for it.
Yeah, and I'm using up 2 level 1s. So 10 bludgeoning, another 10 divine.
Now he's looking hurt.
Does it look like the radiant did more damage?
No. He didn't seem affected by it in like a a greater way.
Okay.
Oh, I am curious as to what these are.
I've seen their picture before, but I don't remember what they are. I don't think I've ever fought them or used them.
Are you moving, Lemon?
Nope.
All right, Murook.
Before we start, I'm going to take a weird chance here, and I'm going to speak to it in Abyssal and ask, "What are you, foul fiend?"
What are your weaknesses? What are your greatest fears?
What are your hopes and dreams?
That's about the
He, I know I've been like taunting you in common, but that's like not canon technically. But he cocks his head as if he can't understand you.
Oh. Well, they're not demons. And then I hit it with my axe.
Well, damage.
And
so I'm very hurt.
It's going to look even more hurt.
How do you want to kill it?
I go, well, since I don't know what you are, back to the pits with you. And I just come down on it with my axe and split it in twain.
He tries to block it with all 4 of his daggers,
and they're just all
enough.
Shattered.
Yeah, and you cleave his head in 2. He falls over.
Well, whatever they are, they're dead now. Okay, so now we gotta go. Find the ghost of a dead wizard.
You are out of combat now.
I think I saw it go through the ceiling.
I'll go after him.
Are you okay, Zorsashi?
I've never been better.
How long does I can't remember how long rage lasts outside of combat?
I'm trying to stop you. I paw through the hole in the wall.
If you don't attack anything within a few seconds or get hurt, then it goes away.
All right. Well, then as the last thing dies, the glow of my axe returns to normal.
I'm gonna get him.
I go up to Zorsashi and I help him.
Zyzzyx, as you pass by Galio, you hear him kind of moan.
Oh,
what's he looking like? Give me some information on him. I look him over.
He looks extremely pale, but he's breathing heavily. But he's like just letting out little moans of.
And from what I can tell, does he have physical damage?
No, it doesn't look like he has any physical damage.
Well, dang. Guys, I don't know what to do with him.
You have a cure wounds?
I do, but it doesn't look like he's got any physical injuries. Should I give it a go anyways?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Okay.
I assume when I get to the top, the Thalivar is not there, since the effect pretty much lasts for a minute.
We said he can see invisible things, right?
Within 10 feet.
So as you walk up the stairs, you see one of the piles of rubble near the hole where the planar beacon used to be. And you see the ghost hovering above it. Doesn't seem to be taking any notice.
I can't move forward. I can't move any forward. If he's the same one, I am still afraid of it.
Yeah. And he slowly descends into the rubble and kind of fades away into it. Disappears.
Can you do another check to break away the fear?
Yeah, how often does can I do another check, or does that last a certain amount of time?
I thought.
You feel the frightened. I guess you could have been doing that. The frightened goes away.
Yeah, there's no reason to, because he wasn't in the room, so it wasn't affecting me. I go up to the rubble and I just sort of like try and sense if the ghost is still there.
You feel definitely the remnants of something.
Oh.
But yeah, but he kind of disappeared into this rubble.
Mr. Lemon.
Where's the ghost?
I think he went into that rubble, and that rubble looks very heavy, and I don't want to... I'm just gonna sit down. Is there a bench somewhere I can sit down? I'll just... this rock looks pretty big.
You see one of the broken cages that's kind of like chair height, and you just kind of sit down. And even though the ghost is gone, like, you can just feel yourself getting older, getting weaker.
Does everything seem heavy to you?
And give me a Arcana check.
Spell that can be dispelled, you think?
21.
21. And you know through research that if you don't get this cured within 24 hours, it may remain permanent. Will remain permanent.
So for those who don't know, in our Icewind Dale game, Bun, Joey, and both of our Jess friends, I believe all 4 of you failed it, or at least 3 of you, and they all...
The other did.
Yeah, the other 3 did, and they all aged like between 10 and 40 years.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Okay, we got to figure this out and find how to reverse it."
We spent all our money to reverse the curse.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Is this either a restoration thing or a dispel magic thing?
It'd be greater restoration.
Oh, and the local priest isn't too happy with this.
He will be after we find the ghost and how he was bad at finding the ghost.
Yeah.
Turned out he's not even a cleric. He just kind of waves his hand around and just pretends to do stuff.
He's a televangelist.
Oh,
he's a cleric evangelist.
By the way, did that cure wounds do anything? Did I notice that anything happening to Galeo? Is he still down?
Yeah, whenever you get back to me, I did cure wounds, even though he's not physically injured that I can tell. I did cure wounds him for 9 health.
You see some color return to his cheeks.
Okay.
And his eyes open.
So it turns out, you were possessed. Like we said, the whole time. FYI.
Oh, darn.
Do you happen to know See Invisible?
Are you asking him or me?
I'm asking Galea.
See invisibility?
Yeah.
He just shakes his head. No.
Do you have any way of interacting with the ethereal plane?
No.
No.
I think we all have a way of interacting with the ethereal plane.
It's called dying.
Yeah.
He left my body in fear. He's not at rest.
No, and now he's after the Ruin Stone. Which
Ruin Stone. He wants it. He wanted it so badly in life.
Where would the Ruin Stone be?
He just waves his hands. The ethereal plane is my guess. I don't want to be possessed again.
I don't blame you on that one. And privately in my head, I go, I so want to tell him I told you so.
We need to search for his remains. Either we kill the ghost outright, if such a thing can even happen, or we lay his body to rest.
Well,
I'm going to start making my way downstairs while this is happening.
Well, there's a slight problem with the laying his body to rest. You said he was at the explosion of the... He was more than likely at the explosion of the Ruin Stone at the first time.
We have to at least try.
What I miss? The ghost was up there and then disappeared.
He's looking for where. He's saying that we need to find the body of the ghost or kill the ghost.
Well, why don't we evacuate the tower?
You seem weak. Here, eat this. It'll help. And I hand him the sandwich piece that I found. But I only rolled a 2 on my deception to you.
He looks at it and it's like full of like dirt.
No. I don't even get to that point. He goes like, I know you're lying to me. I don't look weak at all. I pick up like a piece of broken wood on the ground and start using it as a cane.
Galileo goes, does he look older to you?
Oh.
Just wise.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Do you know anyone? Do you think the what was that cleric's name?
Marigold.
Do you think Marigold would know Greater Restoration?
Oh, curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be able to help with that.
Oh, that's probably gonna cost us a pretty penny.
If the body's
Why are
going
we
to be
here?
anywhere,
What's going
the
on?
body's going to be anywhere. It's going to be near where the beacon was.
Which I'm guessing was at the top floor.
Oh, the ghost. It went into the rubble pile. It must be in the pile of rubble.
Alright, I go back up to the top floor. Okay, where's it?
Oh, I don't want to go back up those stairs.
You know what? I grab him and I carry him up the stairs.
Okay.
Like I bridle carry him up the stairs.
Aw.
While they've been doing that, I've been looking around upstairs, and I end up trying to use the divine sense again, where as an action, can detect good or evil, as well as celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet. Just to try to see, is it hiding or something?
You don't think it's here anymore, but you feel the remnants of it in this pile of rubble where it disappeared.
Which pile of rubble was it?
I mean, they're not really on the map, but it's, just right there.
You guys clear it off. I'm going to sit back down here.
I go through and I clear through the rubble and see if I can find anything.
Same.
And kind of like when you were clearing the rubble off the bed downstairs, you eventually find a hand. His fingers has jeweled rings on it, and in purple robes that are surprisingly well in good condition. But instead of a person inside, there is a skeleton.
We found it. Oh, wait, no, it says on it property of Vecna.
I don't think so. Yeah. Zyzzyx.
Yo.
Guess what you're doing?
What am I doing?
You're running into town and getting the cleric again.
Okay.
Wait! Bring the hand as proof that the ghost is still here.
Will that actually prove it?
I mean, probably.
Leo,
if not, just turn it into a weapon.
Leo, could you quickly write a letter that would,
go with him?
I'm going to take Galio with me. Galio, you and me.
I need to get some air.
I mean,
So you help Galio downstairs, and you make your way to the.
I take Zorsashi's cane as I go by him and give it to Galio.
No, it's okay. I'll just wait here.
I see if I have it.
You find the shrine, like the shrine. No one's inside, like in the main area, but you see a kind of light on the upper floor.
I go. Is there any kind of like ring bell for service?
Yeah, it's at the top.
No, you probably have to knock.
Okay, I go knock. And then and it's Marigold with is it a man or a woman?
It's a man.
Okay.
It's like a middle-aged halfling.
Okay. Knock.
He's a brandy book.
And Marigold kind of comes out in a white nightgown and nightcap, and he takes one look at Galio and goes, "Oh my goodness, this time, I think you actually might have been possessed. I sense death all around you. What happened?"
It turns out he definitely was possessed. We have vanquished, or we have freed him from the possession, but at great expense of one of our own. He is in desperate need of a cleric, and I apologize for waking you at such a late hour. However, I humbly request your immediate assistance. Back at the tower.
And Galio adds, "We found the wizard skeleton.
That too.
I believe we need to purge it of evil with a ceremony." And the halfling nods. He goes, "Yes, that will put the spirit to rest for sure. For sure. Return to the tower. Bring the bodies outside, and we'll give it a burial. and with any luck, put its soul to rest. I'll collect my things. I'll be there shortly. Oh, what a busy night of exorcism and a blessing ceremony in a single afternoon. You said one of your friends is injured?
Yes, the ghost, the wraith, or whatever they were, did something to him. He seems to be much older than when he entered the fight.
My goodness, I've heard stories, but to suck the life out of you, terrifying. Oh. I must admit, do we have any diamond? Any diamond dust is very important for the restoration process for the spell. I admit we are not yet a very large congregation here. I don't think we have such valuable things around.
Well, I definitely know.
I understand we do have some time, so perhaps we could find the diamond dust I require. But first, I'll prepare for the ceremony.
Now, I do know where we can find a diamond, but it's not in dust form. If I can get you a diamond, do you have a way to convert it to dust?
Absolutely.
How much? This is me. How much diamond dust do we need?
Dustin's like,
yeah,
diamond.
I know. It's worth it. We'll stop by the peculiarities shop and see if there's anything he can sell us. But your plan B.
The entire diamond.
Oh, don't we have like a bunch of diamonds in the bag of holding?
I didn't know you had a diamond. Where do you get a diamond?
I took one of the ones out of the bag of holding.
I thought those were just little gems. I didn't know they were diamonds.
You said there was a diamond. At least you said there was a diamond in there.
If I said there was a diamond, there was a diamond.
Not anymore. Now it's in your hands.
Cryovane's hoard.
Oh no, it's zirconium.
It's only a 50 gold piece diamond.
That doesn't make sense. Diamonds are worth like 500, I thought.
It's a small diamond.
Diamond should be worth 100.
Okay.
Worth 3 months' salary.
Kobolds have hidden a small stash of rare gems. You find 10 worth 50 gold each. That's what you found in the hoard.
You found gems for 50. Yeah, so they're not necessarily diamonds unless specified. But you can trade them for diamonds.
I could have swore that you said one of them was. I guess I misheard. I'm sorry. Oh.
No, I'm sure we'll find one in a day or two.
That out. I'm sorry. I misheard.
These aren't diamonds. These are quartic cystonia or whatever.
Cubic zirconium.
A quartz. And that can be white colored too.
Well,
all right. So you all meet outside the tower. We'll say you brought the body of the wizard and the fae, and Marigold takes a look at you, Zorsashi, and goes, "Oh yes, it's definitely a curse."
Did you bring me my pudding?
Pudding?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Vanilla.
Yeah,
I can't do the chocolate. I'm allergic.
It's on its way.
Soon. You'll have your pudding soon.
That's good.
After you eat your meat.
But now I must request that some graves be dug.
Well, I've got a shovel.
Oh man, I'm fresh out of shovels. Guess you'll have to do it on your own.
Of course. I guess I'll start digging some graves.
I shall begin. Performing the ceremony. However, I think it will take about an hour.
Oh, that's probably going to be. Well, that's probably going to be how long it takes me to dig these graves. Yeah,
He kneels down over the skeletons and begins murmuring his prayers, occasionally sprinkling them with holy water from his censer. And Murook, whoever else is helping him, begin digging some graves on this hillside by the tower.
Lemon will help.
And right around the time you guys finish, Father Marigold stands up, a little out of breath. He goes, place the remains into the grave. You gently place the skeleton remains into the grave and fill it back with dirt. They must commission some headstones. But I feel whatever was haunting them in life, they're now at peace.
One can only hope.
I guess we won't know for sure till we don't see them again. Oh my goodness, such a tiring day.
Yeah, indeed.
It's the pudding!
Oh, yes, of course.
I've been waiting for 3 hours for my pudding I ordered. I just want some pudding.
Yes, conjure pudding.
Does anybody have an alchemy jug full of pudding?
I'm afraid.
Yeah, but it's just mayonnaise. Kind of like it's a type of pudding.
I'm afraid without the diamond dust, they won't be able to perform the spell.
I guess we could check in with the peculiarity shop and see if he has any diamond dust.
Would they be open at this hour?
I bet he holds some very peculiar hours.
Oh, I'm gonna have to walk there. Hey!
I
know what we can do. Hey, what's the guy's name who was possessed? The wizard.
Galio.
Galio, that's right. Galio, walk 30 feet that way. Point towards the peculiarity shop.
He would have to walk halfway around town.
Yeah, just walk 30 feet that way. You owe us.
Damn.
You do it to me.
I'll check the shop. And no sooner as he turned around, you see Aubrey standing at the top of the hill with your robe of what was it, like a robe of
mending, or robe of mending, I believe.
Yeah, robe of mending. It's this beautiful white robe with golden patterns on the sleeve. And I hope you don't mind the disturbance, but I managed to finish your robe and knew you were staying the night in the tower and decided to deliver in person.
What peculiar timing.
he looks at you and he doesn't even comment on your age or how you appear to age.
How much was it? 50 gold? 100 gold?
Let's double check. I think it was 50
Yeah,
gold.
I forget specifically what you said. So it's a common magic item.
Yeah. So you get 50 gold pieces, and I would love it if you tried it on.
I hand over the gold and I put it on. Takes me a while because I'm old.
You feel something heavy in the pocket.
I look in the pocket. Is it pudding?
Alas, 'tis but a diamond.
Oh,
Diamond? What am I
Audrey
going to
goes,
do with a diamond?
diamonds
Do you
can
want
buy.
me to marry you? Are you proposing?
Audrey goes, "Oh my, how did that get in there?" Oh, well, I'm afraid
Finders
it's my
keepers.
loss. I'm afraid it's my loss.
Well, not at all. We can trade you.
I'll get
Pudding?
you pudding if you
I
stop talking.
put my hand over Zoshi's mouth and say,
Ugh.
Someone get him some pudding.
I bamf over to Galileo. Because that's up for 8 hours as long as I don't. I got hit. That probably fell off because I got hit a couple of times. Honestly.
Oh, your hex.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't make any Constitution shape throws, did you?
Yeah, didn't.
I see you're all busy now, so you can pay me at your earliest convenience.
I think I passed all of them. I hand him the 50 gold for my cloak, though.
Thank you.
Okay,
He
1,
takes a bite out of it.
2,
He takes a bite out of one of the gold. Yeah.
3.
I'm paying you in copper pieces.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I lost count.
Does this coupon work? It says it's good until August.
Yeah. It's August of the second age. This is the third age. Will you still accept it? The store down the street accepts expired coupons. As you're giving him, counting out the gold pieces, everyone else is reminded of when the town master did that through the mail slot. He gave you a reward, 1 gold piece at a time. The priest prepares the gold dust. He has
diamond dust.
He has some alchemist diamond dust. He has some of those alchemist tools where he puts it in a cup, he grinds it kind of in a magical way.
The hardest substance on earth, and he's just grinding it in a mortar and pestle. That's pretty awesome.
It's probably
ordinary.
It's an alchemist
mortar and pestle. Yeah.
It's an alchemist mortar and pestle. It deals with
there might be some process for it. I don't know. That's what he's doing. And he takes the diamond dust and he starts to bless it. And
did it sneeze?
He picks up some with his hand, and he says to Zorsashi, he says, "Try not to breathe these in." And he blows it into your face.
Pudding!
And slowly you regain your age back.
I feel much better. But still, where's my goddamn pudding?
But it's gone too far. Now you're a baby.
Pudding.
He goes, "Will this be a habit with you fellows? Do you think?"
Probably.
Yeah, it's.
I hope.
I will try not to, but I can't.
I literally cannot promise you that something like this won't happen again.
I've had a long day and would like to go sleep like I am 80 years old.
But first pudding?
Yeah, I'm going to go find some pudding. And some tea. I haven't had tea all day.
Goes, well, now I'm just wide awake and I just need to cook.
Get the instant pudding?
I don't think they have that.
3 a.m. Why are you making pudding?
I've lost control of my life.
Well, now I just have the urge to cook, so join me, friends, and we'll rest in the shrine, and I'll make my grandma's famous
chocolate pudding.
Where you get chocolate? It's like, you can't find chocolate around here.
Oh.
Are you mad?
What are we? Chocolate that comes from a tropical fruit. We can't have that here. We're in a temperate zone.
They have fish though.
Oh, chocolate fish.
Fish pudding.
No, fish pudding.
So he invites you. He invites everyone to the shrine to rest and sleep for the night.
Weren't you burying people today in the wake or something?
Yeah.
Oh yes, the ceremony was earlier.
Not to be disrespectful, it's been a very long day for us as well.
Yeah.
This is pretty good pudding, I have to say. It tastes just like home.
And you guys have some pudding.
And a long rest.
Drift off to sleep. And you get the long rest.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy!
All right.
And not to skip ahead too much, but in the following nights, you hear no news of any disturbances at the tower.
Well, that's good. All I know is that I have 2 things that I'll need to do. Take a rest sleep on Idle Island, and have a learn ASL date with Valdi Estepar.
I think don't get the reference.
But that will have to wait for another time.
Yes.
It's getting a tad late.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean tonight. That's what I can do in the town.
We will spend the next several hours learning sign language in real life.
Oh,
yes, I want my sign language actually roleplayed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably need to. But
this will be the very first podcast that's purely sign language.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's check about leveling here.
Right, we could level up. Because we scared away a ghost.
Yep.
I mean, let's see. What we saved that in. We stopped those cultists outside the gates and inside the gates, and we fought a ghost. And it's
not quite yet. Feel like any day now you could gain that level, but
not right. Not today. That day.
This day.
Right. Everyone, take a long rest, and thank you for playing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Joey.
This has been fun.
That was a good. I like.
Would you like to know some of the mysteries? What the answers were?
I'm taking a wild guess and saying that if we hadn't given Galileo the holy water facial, it would have led to very bad things.
Was there anything with the statues that we missed?
Not really, but I added something that the green one was special in some way.
Oh.
And it had something to do with the Fae servant.
Oh well.
Yeah. Well, it shall remain a mystery forever.
Oh, I'm guessing the Ruin Stone is still sticking around in the ethereal plane, but without, I'm guessing, the wizard who knows it quite intimately is stuck there for all eternity.
As far as you know, yeah, it's still out there somewhere. I did forget to mention one thing. As you were leaving the ceremony, Zorsashi, you look back, and as you're walking down the hill, you look back and you see that dark-skinned woman again, and she gives you a salute before disappearing.
I give a bow. Well, I guess she can go back to live in peace in her painting.
I'll edit that into the end, so get the thing. But yeah, you see that as you leave. All right, that's it.
Ta-da! Thanks a lot, Joey.
Thank you, sir.